Welcome back, guys. We're on 11:59, and today we've got another great guests. So I wanted to bring you on for a while, actually. So it worked out great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then thank you for coming. And then so we got Suj. So how would you call your comedy? Would you say Mallu comedies? Obviously,
No, joking Mallu.
Joking Mallu. That's it.
Yeah. And my full name is like a paragraph. It's Sujata Jayagopal. But lots of people call me Suj. So that's how I introduce myself.
Yeah.
But I also make sure I call out my handle, which is Joking Mallu. And,
Joking Mallu, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you're primarily on Instagram.
Yeah. I'm primarily on Instagram. But that's mainly for the comedy and stuff. I need to kind of make sure I separate. I just have one handle right now, but I need to kind of make sure I separate my personal life and my comedy stuff, which is in the process.
Because everything you post is straight away on your Instagram, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Amazing. So for those of you that don't know, so Suj is basically a massive comedian.
Not sure if it's massive, but I don't know in size or but trying to make a mark in comedy. Yes.
How did you come about being starting on comedy? How was that?
So I started. I met with a few comedians in India, and
how long ago was that?
This was in 2016. I met with a few really upcoming now big stars in stand-up comedy in the north of India, actually, and I was trying to mingle with them and understand how they write comedy and perform and stuff, and then slowly I started writing some material for them. And which they performed, and I was at one of the gigs and saw the people laughing at jokes that you wrote, and I was like, hey, why not I perform? So that's how I started. I came back and I connected with Sindhu V. You probably know her. And she and there's a comedian in India called Vasu Primlani, amazing comedian, very intellectual comedian, and hit some really difficult topics, and they basically are the reasons that I started in comedy. And Sindhu suggested a comedy course, which I did, and I started in 2016 to perform open mics in English. But it is very difficult to think in Tamil and write in English and try to get people to laugh. But it was the early stages. But life took over, work, my day job actually took over quite a lot. So I was not able to completely focus on it. Then there was an opportunity to recently, a few years ago, when Sundar came to London from Canada and started organizing comedy gigs, and it was a Tamil comedy gig, and I've not heard that before. And I was kicking myself for not having started something before. So I started performing at his show, and what an amazing response from the audience. And I thought, man, this is probably what I should do, and perform in English and Tamil mixed. And that's how I kind of got into it. So so in 2016 I started, took a break. I had a knee surgery then as well. And then COVID came. And so I just put it on hold. So I did maybe 15-20 gigs, open mics.
Oh wow, that's quite a lot.
You need to do, I think, at least 100 open mics to get to a stage where you can actually
say you're a comedian.
And it is practice, right? And it's your material that holds ground. And timing is very important. It is a science. I learned that comedy is it's a science, where every time you perform, you actually, when you record your performance, the number of times they laugh, the intensity of laughter, and the duration of each laughter that you get from the audience can be calculated.
Wow. Okay.
And then you fine tune your material and your timing and your tone to intensify that and improve that every single time you perform. And that's what I do. And that's how you polish your material. So
is there like, so do you take a set or a skit and then improve that skit, or do you try one and then go like, okay, I've tried skit A, let me try now skit B?
So it's mainly sets. I don't do skits. And each set is going to be probably a minute or so on a topic, right? And then the first time, and it always happens, right? When you write it, you think it's bloody hilarious. But then when you perform, you don't get a laugh. And you're like, it was funny in my head. Why are you guys not laughing, right? But then on that topic itself, the more you write, the more you're able to expand on that one topic. So what you started with like 1 minute could end up being a 10-minute set on that topic. And 100%. That's how you kind of develop and build your material. And it's a very interesting process. Like when you start writing, you know where you started, and then how it's like blossomed into a very polished material. It can go on. So every time I do a set, like when I do a performance, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 or 15, you start with like a minute of a particular topic within that 5 minutes. The next time that 1 minute becomes 2 or 3, then it becomes 5, and then it becomes 10, and then you actually get a half an hour set on a particular topic, and it's amazing how you can just build on that.
What was like your number one topic that you started with when you came out?
It's pretty obvious, right? For people that, especially in our culture, and I was very it was very important for me to basically ensure that some of the taboo topics within our culture was brought out into light. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to start doing this comedy. And Sundar and I have talked about this quite a lot as well when we started doing that. Topics like being gay in our culture is very important, trying to come out to your parents. That itself is like a year's topic. You get a content which is worth 2 hours just on that. And then it's also about, expectations of your parents on you. There's so many interesting topics in our culture that you can talk about. It's always about relatability, right? Your audience should be able to relate to what you're doing. And movies play quite an important role in our culture, right? So that's another, like, if you're able to connect what's happening in your life to something that happens in a movie or something that happens completely different, that's how you kind of create that laughter and the comedic sense. Truth but funny, right? That kind of thing.
100%. And you know what's interesting? Like, you touch on, like, obviously your sexuality and stuff like that within your comedy, especially the last set. And you know how, like, Asian, like, brown people already have this thing of, I can't tell my parents about my relationship. Like, on the normal,
even if you're straight.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, for, like, if you're, like you said, like, if you're straight, which is considered the norm for, like, brown parents, it's already you're not allowed to go out with somebody. So how do you open up? And how do you say?
It was easier for me because we just went out as friends. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I mean, it's for me. I think with my mom, my niece actually, came out on my behalf. As in, she brought me out of the closet to her grandmother about me, and was like, "It's okay. My aunt is gay, so you better accept it because we all have, And then my mom was like, "Yeah, okay, fine. Let's not talk about it." But that's fine. She accepts me for who I am. We don't talk about that topic. And in fact, that's the reason that it gives me like a comedy for you. I don't know how you felt, but it was like a therapy session for us, right? So you're able to talk about what the things that you've been bottling it inside you for all these years, and you're able to talk to a bunch of strangers, and they actually connect with you about it, right? So
100%.
yeah, I mean, it's also to encourage people to feel it's normal and it's okay to have people who are different as your friends. That's quite important. But these days, I think it's much more acceptable amongst the younger generation. Whether it's your sexuality, whether it's your identity, whatever it might be.
Right?
So we talk about that.
Yeah. I guess it gives you content to talk about, like you said. But what's like when you go into that kind of thing, like when you find out and you don't want to like say anything to your parents and everything, and you was like super opened about certain things in your comedy, and then you also said how much of it is real, how much of it is you making up the comedy in there?
It's everything is it's absolutely 100% true, right? Everything I say is true. But obviously the way and that's where your skill develops on a daily basis, right? Is how you present it, how you package it and put it in front of the audience. That's very important. And it shouldn't offend anyone as well. And you got to be a little cheeky that they feel, okay, this one can get away with murder kind of thing. But, if you're playful and cheeky and the way you present it is a bit like pretty cool with the audience, you need to read your audience. A couple of gigs before the one that I did, the minute and it was interesting because I didn't expect that kind of, and sometimes it freezes you on stage sometimes. I've died so many times like Jesus on stage, but you just resurrect again and come back.
Make sure you don't post that bit, basically.
Yeah, but there was a lot of, oh my God, she's gay. And that kind of reaction also is possible from the crowd. Another gig I did mention to the organizers, listen, mine comedy material is not PG, right? But it was at a venue where there were kids, and so you got to be careful what material you present as well. But it's a learning
process.
You go through that process and you build. Now I've started building material which is for a generic, very clean audience, and also stuff that is edgy, and you kind of build that material and choose and pick based on your audience and test it. But reading the audience is quite important, which is a process. You learn it and 100%. you do it as you go.
What was like your worst experience on stage?
See, I think the worst experience for any comedian is if you don't get the first laugh. It's so you literally freeze and either forget your material or you're trying to get the first, desperate to get them to laugh, so your body languages change. You just give up sometimes. You just walk off stage. It is, I think, getting the first laugh is the adrenaline that gets into you and the pressure that's in you. But once you get the first laugh, then you're smooth sailing after that. So so my word, I wouldn't say, I don't think I've had one worse experience when I did my English open mic where it's a bunch of comedians and they're just judging you.
Of course.
They're judging you, your material.
This is a 1 out of 10 for me.
and they're just sitting there and they're thinking, okay, I could use this idea. All of that stuff. So the worst audience is to have 80% of the audience being comedians. But in my opinion, at least when you're starting off, but they're the best critics as well. I mean, if it is like, we have an open mic, which is, and I think you should join that as well, because it's an online open mic run by Monica in India. And internationally, Tamil comedians join from Sri Lanka, from Malaysia, from Australia, UK, US. And they're all in that. Praveen, who's quite a famous comedian, the biryani guy, he comes on it, and he actually gives a lot of feedback, and he there's a lot of comedians, experienced comedians there, who will give feedback on your material, and you can one-on-one chat with them. So I get a lot of coaching from him as well on how to shape and polish your material. So I think it's a very interesting community that we have in at least the Tamil culture across the world, where people are very supportive. And if you want to grow within the comedy scene, there is a future there.
100%. So what is it that you're planning? And this is in November, right? That you're
so we are trying to build a community of comedians in the UK, and we have all kinds of ages, very young, middle-aged, and also pretty senior citizens who are comedians within this community.
I'm in the very young sector.
Yes, of course. Obviously, I was addressing you, Julian. But yeah, so we have a set of comedians, and the aim is that I've set up this organization called Fresh Off the Boat.
Nice. Love the name.
And the concept is, when we organize an event, whatever we make from ticket sales or sponsorship or both for the event, after all the costs are deducted, we equally share amongst all the artists. So that is the concept that we've built. And it's like a really cooperative community that we're building. And we've had multiple shows in the past, but the next one is on the 30th of November. In Shoreditch. We're confirming the venue, but it'll be in Shoreditch, and you're welcome. And I hope next time you will perform as well.
100%.
But yeah, so this is the plan. It's starting at 5:00. Timing is quite a challenge in our culture. If we say 4, then they will come at 6. We're trying to be quite disciplined, and when we
especially
say 5
for comedy shows,
we have to, because we have to give back the venue. So the challenge for us has been to get the audience to respect the time of coming to the events, and the problem is, unlike a club night, for comedy, we only get the booking for that venue for certain hours. So it's absolutely important that we end on time. They don't care when you start. And there are comedians who've prepared and come from far, right, to perform.
100%.
And I would like to give everybody an equal chance to perform and to showcase their material. So and the last time I had a trouble because I had to cut short the last one because we had to give the venue back. And I don't want to get to that stage, and we'd really like everybody to come on time. But it's on the 30th. It's going to be an amazing gig. We have 5 to 7 comedians. And Kiki, I think, she was here before. So Kiki and I are hosting this together now. So it'll be great if you guys can come, and the tickets are on sale on Eventbrite.
Perfect. So 30th November, guys, obviously in Shoreditch. So if you're in for comedy night, and I'm glad that you said that you want to start at 5, because I think that's the time to start. You know? And I think, like, the things that people need to know is, for like, you can come late for a football game. You can come late for a club night, music concert, or a night, or a birthday party. You can come late because nothing's gonna happen.
Or even your own marriage.
You can come late for all that. But for like comedy shows, what's disturbing is they need the whole crowd before starting. And if you come in, you kill the whole mood, halfway through. There could be 100 people, but that one person coming in disturbing the view of everybody.
Absolutely. That's the thing. That's the challenge in running a comedy show,
100%. Treat it like a cinema. You don't want to move the first. You don't miss the first 5 minutes. So
come when the trailers start, because we do have music in the beginning.
There we go.
So it'll be good for everybody to come in. We are strictly closing the doors at 6:00. That's when we actually the people, like I would start off with, warming up the crowd and stuff before that. But the main performances will kick off at 6, and
cool.
6 sharp, the doors are closed. Yeah.
100%. If you send us the link, then we can put it in the description.
Yeah, of course I will.
And then everybody that wants to come, see you guys, 30th November.
Yeah.
That's the placement. So Shoreditch, and then
it'll be fun. And the interesting thing is we have Tamil comedians from India, Malaysia, Sri Lanka. It's a completely good mix of people talking about a good mix of topics. So that's the main thing.
100%.
Yeah.
And then, so is there like any names that we know? So I know you said.
So there is. All of us are upcoming artists, and that's why initially we're trying to set up the stage for these people. There's Fayaz, who's from Chennai. There is Kiki, you guys know, myself. There's Ilakian. Most of them know Ilakian. We're yet to confirm Ilakian, but we will confirm him soon. There's a very young student graduate. She's only, I think, she just turned 20 or something. And she's been doing comedy with us from 2 years ago when she was 18. She is fantastic. Amazing comedian. Very sharp with her material. It's going to be more in English, very little Tamil. So lots of people can understand and relate. She's there, and a few others. So there are a few surprise acts that we're taking.
That's good.
But it's a good age range.
100%. Tackling everything that you can.
Yes.
Wide audience. But one thing I wanted to ask, like, obviously you said, like, okay, comedy's been around you for like the past 8 years or so on. So how do you make a living in this comedy world for you? Like, do you have another job that, like, basically...
Definitely doesn't pay any bill.
Yeah.
I just do comedy for passion, because that's like... People take up golf when they reach midlife crisis. I took up comedy. That's the difference. And golf. So I do work as an MD for a multi-billion-dollar company in IT. That's what pays the bills. I love cars, so it just pays for all the expensive cars that I buy. I don't think comedy is there yet for me to support my lifestyle. And I do like quite a good lifestyle. So I do still need to keep my job. And I love what I do. So I'm in sales, so I get to travel quite a lot. It actually helps me with my content and material as well, because you meet people from so many different cultures across Europe, Middle East, Africa. And that's my area that I work in. And it's... I've been doing the job for like 24 years. We're also trying to provide professional coaching for upcoming people in the Tamil community who are trying to get into a good job and build their career. So any kind of career development, do connect with me. So
that's crazy. So how do you balance that and comedy? Like, obviously MD is quite a big position.
That's one of the reasons that keeping the continuity is difficult. Because the aim was to do a gig every month. It's very difficult to find and organize and manage and produce everything all on your own while you're doing your job as well. So it is a juggle. At least the good thing is you can do a comedy gig. It's quite flexible on a weekend. If you are organizing your gig, you can do it either during the weekend or on a Friday evening and stuff, which you'll have to do. I mean, if you are passionate about something, you will find time to do it.
100%. But ain't you like scared that work finds out about your comedy and that because obviously
I've told once you reach a senior level, and I don't think you should shy away from your passion. I don't see any white guy who's not talking in the office about his passion to do tennis or golf or sailing or fishing. It's just like that. I mean, I love doing comedy, and that's the company I work for is very inclusive, very understanding of everybody's passion and stuff. As long as you're not doing a business, in competition to the company I'm working for, you're
yeah.
fine, right? They're not going to stop you from doing what you're passionate about. Yeah,
because like being in an MD position is quite a serious position, and then obviously you push like comedy content. So does that change your relationship at work? Do people be like, I saw your gig?
So I've actually performed at my work at some of the events. So
you must be a really cool MD then.
Yeah. So and I represent the LGBT community as well in the organization. I represent the arts and culture community in the organization as well.
Yeah.
Look, first of all, I think we need to be proud of who we are, which is half the battle. Yeah. And then once you are proud about what you're doing, as long as it's not harming someone, I think your environment, whether it's your corporate world or your personal world, ends up accepting you. I think the minute you feel, oh, should I be open about it? And then you're like, what is it? And humor, I'm advocating this quite a lot in my organization, that humor is very important in your corporate world. Half your battle with your clients and everything the ice can be broken so easily when you add humor into, I mean, not that you're running a 10-minute set in a corporate meeting, but the minute when you are negotiating a multi-million-dollar deal across the table with your lawyers and the client's lawyers, it's such a stressful environment. You can just imagine clause after clause after clause. And then you just add a little bit of humor in there. It just breaks the ice. Yeah. I have got my clients to agree on some very difficult clauses and positions in our contracts because of me able to,
break the ice.
Break the ice and bring it down to reality, relatability. Humor is nothing but. So if you notice in your jokes when people laughed, the minute you talked about, I'm going to quote one of your jokes. That's okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, the minute you talked about, once you reach your 30s, men wearing skinny jeans.
Yeah.
You should have, I don't think you could see the audience reaction, but all the men were like, shit, I regret wearing skinny jeans. You immediately related to them, and they laughed because the laughter is not about, so what are they laughing about? If you break it down, it's about you touching a nerve that's related, that they're able to relate to.
Yeah.
That's all. So people laugh at something that, oh my God, this has happened to me. That's what they laugh at, right? They're literally laughing at themselves.
Yeah.
Because you said something which they're able to relate to. That's it.
Yeah, 100%.
So the minute in a corporate world you're able to say something that they're able to relate to, they
gain that trust.
Their body language changes from like this to, oh yeah, Sujata, she's one of us. That kind of thing.
100%. Wow, man, it's true. What did you think of my set? That was my first time. Be honest.
Yeah. So
because I know everybody said everyone was really good.
I came upstairs to get some fresh air. And I saw you practicing outside upstairs. And I was like, okay, it's not just me who sits there and practices. I've seen Julian practice as well, so that's good. So that was my first thought. And I smiled to myself and I was like, oh, there's somebody who I can see myself, right? I did that when I started. Yeah.
Because, one thing, because it was my first time. So I practiced at home.
Yeah. But in front of a mirror?
No.
Do that next time.
I'll be too shy.
No, do that next time or record yourself.
Yeah.
You will be able to
see the motion,
realize your body language and everything. And you will change it and you will see the timing. You will pause at the right time. Silence is pause and silence is very important in comedy. I know this amazing, very, very young comedian who used to do gigs with me at open mics. He would just come. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. 2 minutes, if his set is 5 minutes, at least for the first 2 minutes, the first 30 seconds, he just is silent. He just stands and he does things. The people just start laughing.
You
know what I mean?
To fill the gap, yeah.
No, it just is him trying to make people laugh.
Yeah.
And making a point that you don't need words.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's like amazing for somebody to be able to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so you get inspired from
Yeah.
upcoming artists and big artists. And to give you feedback, I think it was amazing the way you engaged with the audience initially. You came and then you said, listen, I'm going to do this again. I want you guys all to roar. And that basically shows how much you love yourself. How self-obsessed. No, I'm just kidding. So that was really good. Because they were like almost dead.
Yeah, because if you guys don't know, basically I did a comedy set and it was, I don't know, I think we were 8 or 9 of us.
Yeah.
But like the audience was choosing the people and I happened to be last.
And there was no like air circulation in that room. It was like a hostage situation.
They had no food, no water.
80 people stuck in some dungeon in a basement, dark basement. With Kuti Hari talking and me talking and a few of us.
And they couldn't get out because if you stood up, you'll need to go front of the
you have
performers.
Yes, and so they become part of the performance if they leave. And then in the end, they were like, oh, God, there's another gig. And then Julian comes. And that was really good. That needs a presence. I don't know if you planned it.
No, I didn't plan it, but I like, so I realized that the last 3 sets, they were tired.
Yeah.
Like they didn't react like they were reacting at first. So I was like, okay, I need to be like punchy.
Yes.
You know, so yeah.
So that was really good. I think that was fantastic. You have a lot of material that you've already started building. Which is very relatable, right? To your age group and to the people who were there, right? I would say start building on that material because I think there's so much you can
bring
milk out of that same stuff, topics, right? And I think you need the timing needs to be a bit
100%.
I think if you
be honest, don't worry. Like I'm okay with it. Like I can see you hesitating.
No, I never hesitate. I'm quite brutal.
Tell me.
No, but I think if you are able to. And it comes with experience. The more gigs you do, the more, and I think you should do, because it's an opportunity to do open mic and
100%.
test new material and stuff. So the more you do the same material, and don't shy away from doing the same material because you are building on that material. Try and add, okay, today have a target for yourself that, okay, I'm going to add a little bit more onto the same topic. What people usually think is, okay, I've done this set. I need to do something new because probably the same audience is going to, don't worry about it. Do the same set, but build on it for the next time. Build a little bit more for the next time on the same topics, and you will be amazed yourself. Like I just was like, wow, it's brilliant how I've started with a joke a couple of years ago, and today I'm able to do that joke in a completely different context.
Is that the jetty joke?
No, that was...
Because I love that one. I've heard it before, but I love when you deliver it.
No, that was... So I built on that, right? So the joke that I do on Coimbatore, and it's famous for 3 things. I've built on that. I've done that. The topic being Coimbatore is known for 3 things. But I've built the 3 things as 3 different things and 3 things that you can start building on, that jutty joke and all of those things. So
that was really good.
So it is important for me to bring out topics like sexuality, like very difficult. The one that I really want to do, and it's challenging, is about child sexual molestation, child abuse in our culture. Topics like rape, topics like within.
It's very, very topical, so especially in India now.
And very sensitive topics. But to bring that into comedy, it's my friends have done it in India, and they next day get arrested because. It's a very dangerous place for comedians in India. You cannot talk about politicians. You cannot talk about. So the person I said, Vasu Premlani, she was performing and the police came and arrested her
Was
while
performing.
she was performing.
That's crazy.
That is the level of danger comedians have in India. There's so many comedians who.
It just goes to show that they wanted to prove to everybody on stage
Yeah.
that they wanted to stop her right there. You know, they
Yeah.
could have stopped her at home, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a polite society like
Yeah. It's just like, no, we'll
Yeah,
show you.
and-
You want to play these games? We'll show you where to
exactly.
stop it.
So and they brought out reasons like, oh, she's openly gay and stuff like that, which was Section 377 was cancelled
Yeah.
in India. It was taken out, so you are legally okay to be gay in
Yeah.
India. But still, it's we're very blessed in this country that we can talk about a lot of
Certain
topics
things,
and
yeah,
not
yeah,
get
yeah.
cancelled
Yeah,
or
for
arrested
now.
for that matter.
Yeah.
Yes, but still, there are. It is important, I think, to use this medium. For all of us as comedians, we're responsible to bring out topics that are important to our
100%,
society
yeah.
and culture, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
But like, before we go into the next segment,
Yeah.
I've got my little game section
Oh, yeah.
that I know you've seen with Kiki. But with Kiki, what we've done was...
Shit, I prepared with all my trivia questions and now you're like,
Yeah, so Switch came in, she was just like, oh yeah, so after this we're doing the trivia. And I was like, no, for you it's not
I
trivia.
went through Mastermind. I prepared for this. And he's like, no, we're not doing that.
we're not doing that. I'm pulling up the questions now. For you, we're actually doing Would You Rather.
See, I knew. Where's my alcohol?
So like one of the topic is obviously like comedy and everything.
Yeah.
And you said that you've got a corporate background as well. Yes. So if you had to choose, would you rather be a full-time comedian or would you be a full-time corporate person? And it's funny, I wrote this question, but I didn't know you were in the corporate world. But now I
Okay.
know. So now so it's basically
Interesting.
choosing your full-time or your like part-time.
So, look, it's a tough choice. If you'd asked me, would you rather marry or do something else, then that was an easy question. Now, corporate world pays my bills. I enjoy what I do, and I don't think I can either choose between both. I would do both. I am greedy that way, but
Assuming they both pay you the same. let's say they're the same.
no, I think I would then go for double, right? Why would I choose one?
It's so funny.
If it both pays the same, I'll take them both, mate. No, but I think if I had limited time, which I do, and if I had to choose one, obviously I'll choose comedy.
Yeah.
Because it's my passion.
Yeah,
and you can make something corporate out of that, right? Perform at corporate gigs, do coaching on humor for corporate gigs and for the corporate world and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I'd choose comedy if it paid well.
Yeah.
But to get there,
Yeah.
you have to sacrifice your job because it is an art that needs a lot of time to be invested in. You need to take, like, if you want to become a star in the golf or in any sport, you have to dedicate your life to that.
100%.
Right?
100%.
If you want to play football just during the weekends, you can still do that.
Facts, yeah.
But you won't be able to be
go
a
to the
FIFA
big
star.
to be the best in your league.
Yeah, so you need to dedicate your life to that. Now, comedy is the same, but the difference between a football game is it's a team sport, and you have people around you.
Yeah.
You have your coach. You're always connecting with people.
100%.
Comedy is a very lonely world. I'm sorry to say, but it is you feel the loneliest when you are climbing that ladder in comedy. It's not from me. I've heard this from so many amazing comedians. And when I speak to them personally, they do tell me this, right? That it is a lonely world out there, and you're traveling from one place to another.
Yeah.
You are a solo performer.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's what you said, right? Like perform in front of a mirror. It's just
Yeah.
like you have to be alone to perfect your content as well.
Exactly. You have to be alone. You have to prepare yourself. You have to travel. You have to perform on your own. You get a lot of satisfaction doing that. However, there's a dark side as well. And if you get into that scene, knowing fully well the bright and the dark side, then you can tackle the dark side. You're prepared mentally to tackle the dark side. Otherwise, you can just fall into like any kind of mental, downfall. Issues. So keeping that in mind is quite important. And I know that there's a dark side to comedy. And it's important that you address that from the beginning. And I don't think personally I am at a place where I probably will retire early from my corporate world because I can afford to do that. No, I'm just kidding. Because I've worked hard to get there and that's my plan. Once I do that, then maybe I will get into comedy full time. Sorry, it's a long-winded answer.
No. That was good. Yeah. But I got now one. Hopefully, it's just as long as of an answer. So, would you rather fight a crocodile or a lion?
What? Where are you getting this question? Why? Why would I be in that situation?
In that situation.
I'm just trying to understand when would I be in that situation. So,
let's assume you're visiting a safari park and now you have to
that's
fight
what I was thinking. I'll probably throw someone in first. I'll probably hire someone to go fight on my behalf.
This is so rich talk. I'll just hire somebody.
Why would I go and do that, right? No, I don't think I'd show the white flag. I don't want to fight anybody.
What would be your best scenario though? Which one do you think you got more survival rate? Crocodile or a lion?
Neither, because I have been in a safari park in South Africa. And I have seen the lions. I probably would choose a lion because they're lazy most of the time.
Yes.
And while a crocodile can attack you from behind, like lots of Tamil people. No, I'm just kidding. But when you least expect it, a crocodile attacks. And I hate those kind of people. But a lion comes head on, right? So, I enjoy people who tackle you head on.
Fair and square.
Yes. Okay. If that was the connection or relation that you were trying to get to, it's getting very deep.
If not, I would have said snakes. No, I would go for the crocodile.
You would go for the crocodile.
Yeah, because a lion is crazy. Like, I'm assuming they're both attacking at this point, and I think a lion's got.
You're assuming both attacking at the same time.
As in, if I was against a lion, I think there's no chance because they can also run.
I think you have a better chance to fight a lion. With a crocodile, it's gonna snap at you. You're dead.
Correct, but then by the time that thing can't chase me as fast as a lion, in my opinion.
You think?
Yeah.
So you're planning to run?
Yeah.
A crocodile's place is normally in a river.
But that's the thing. If it's a river, no go.
That's where the crocodile is. You think it's going to be around in the land running it.
I'm trying to fight him fair and square. Boxing ring only.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
In that case, I'll say.
So you didn't describe the venue.
Yeah.
Properly. Very important for a fight or a comedy.
Okay, let's just say it's in 10 square meter football ground.
Okay, then definitely a crocodile. Because as sneaky as it can be, it can't run. Chase you.
Yeah. And even if it does,
it's not as fast.
Yeah.
Wear your Crocs.
Yeah.
Bad joke.
But 100%, man. That's what I would do because I feel like the lion. I've seen those things. I mean, the crocodiles are the same.
Yeah.
If there's water around, it's over because they grab you under and they
that's
do
what
the whole
I meant.
spinning.
So I thought it was in its own comfortable habitat that you're fighting in.
Yeah. No.
Always choose a lion than a sneaky crocodile, even in life.
What's the so we've asked this before, but this is where the fun comes. What's the weirdest thing you've ever Googled?
Oh my God, you don't want to know. Everything I Google is probably weird. And Google's probably thinking, what the hell is she trying to not use swear words? But why the hell is she Googling this, right? Because for your comedy, you need to Google and research on really weird topics. So, for example, I have Googled, how do you convince your parents? Is it easier to convince your parents that you are gay? Or is it easier to convince your parents that you are in debt? So, some stupid things like that.
Yeah.
And most of the stuff that I Google is probably weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But you've probably, so you're saying you're using Google a lot for your personal issues as well. You're just, like.
No, I don't use Google for my personal issues. I use Google for my comedy.
Yeah.
And I use Google for my corporate world. Like,
of course,
but apart from that, I don't search for stuff. Yeah, I do this, right? So if I'm watching a documentary or a movie based on a true life, on Netflix or Prime or any movie, I immediately have to Google about the real person and find out how does he look, what does he do, what did he do. So the recent thing, I know PDD is like the hot topic right now, but what I want to know is how the hell did he become so rich as a music producer? How did he start? I couldn't find anything. I can't find anything about the good side of him becoming a music producer because his whole name is tarnished. Right? And that's a big lesson for me as well. When you are in, it's a big lesson because when you're in comedy, you're putting out yourself out there in
100%.
public, and you have a responsibility to the society and to also how you present yourself. Because one small bad move can tarnish your name completely. So you need to walk the right path, and otherwise all your hard work is down the drain.
100%. I mean, it's happening now with we're speaking about it before. It's the Young Philly thing. I don't know if you saw on thing. He's like a YouTuber.
Still not hit my Insta.
So it's similar to Diddy. He's a YouTuber and he's got issues.
I saw that. Yeah.
So it's just like one mistake and it's just all your thing is just tarnished, isn't it?
And that's the thing. And what I want to do is definitely try and produce comedy and also be a medium to encourage artists to come out, because comedy is one space where there's so many different things you can do, not just stand up, right? You can do skit, you can do interviews, you can do podcasts, you can do so many things. And humor is quite on demand right now.
100%.
All of us are clearly living sad lives, and we do need some laughs and giggles, right?
100%.
And obviously our family is not being the source of comedy. Most of us are. However, I think humor is on demand. So there is a market for it. I'm talking more from a business side now. But and if I put my business cap on, I think it's important to even guide the comedians to present themselves right, to price themselves right in the market. And that's why I'm creating this community of comedians where we are standing up for ourselves and not depending on, it's like independent music artists, right? We're not depending on organizers to pay us like 15 quid or 20 quid.
100%.
When we organize it and we perform and we make only 15 quid, it doesn't matter because it's what we're making with our own effort. But if an organizer is performing an event, making hundreds of thousands of pounds, and then they choose to pay an artist only like 10 quid, 15 quid, 20 quid, doesn't even pay their travel ticket, then it doesn't work well. And I have had artists who've come to me and said, the other side of it is that I've had artists who've come to me and said, minimum I charge 150 quid or 100 quid. And I'm like, listen guys, we are trying to create a community here of artists. Whatever we make, we equally share. I can't pay you 150 pounds.
And 20 quid for the next
and then
one.
20 quid for the rest of the artists because we are equally important. And that's the message. And I have had people
Different characters.
saying no, I can't do it, which is fine. I respect your views.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm trying to build.
Is
a community of comedians and artists, right, who support each other.
100%.
And if we create a collective, nothing can beat us, and we become stronger. And we're bringing in DJs, we're bringing in comedians. We want to establish comedians as good as the DJs in our market. And that's the plan.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good plan, though.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the 30th of November, though. Make
Please
sure you check
come.
it out. Yeah. Make sure you check it out, guys. But last question I've got on the Would You Rather section is, would you rather be invisible or would you be able to fly? So would you rather be invisible or would you rather be flying around?
Definitely flying around. It took me quite a lot to be visible now. I'm not going to go back to being invisible. To come out as gay took quite a lot of effort. I'm not going to go back and say, no, I'm invisible now. But I'd rather fly and see what everybody's up to.
Oh, nice.
And learn from the people who are growing. I think every day is a learning for me. I learn from, that's the path I choose. Every day I learn from anyone and everyone. And networking is very important for me. Like I connect with somebody who's probably just running a tea stall to somebody who's a corporate business billionaire, right? It's important for me to connect with all levels because it's amazing how different perspectives, and it's so beautiful to see that something that you see as like a micro is actually a macro for someone else, and that's a beautiful learning for all of us, right? So it's important for me to connect with everybody, and flying allows you to connect with a lot of people
as much as you can,
faster and quicker and better.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. That's about it. I was surprised that you said that you're into cars. What's your favorite car?
Currently, I'm driving a 911.
Nice. Dream car,
I used to be a big fan of Aston Martins, but these days the manufacturing is so bad. It just gets into a lot of shit. But Porsche is definitely my favorite right now.
Wow.
All Italian cars, definitely some German cars, but so Porsche is now my stand until I hit probably 50, 60 when I can afford an Italian and then
But there you go. That's it. That's the.
What's your favorite car?
My favorite car? I'm a bit boring though because I like all cars. But my dream, I think, attainable car is a BMW M3 E46 M3.
That's Kutiyari's car, isn't it?
Yeah, you know. Yeah. And my dream car is a 911.
I'll take you out for a drive.
That's my dream car. And like, ever since they came out with the 911, like whether the first 911 to today's like GT3, GT4 RS, I'm in love with every single shape that came out.
Because since I bought this car, I get invitations to go to these.
Oh, you bought it brand new?
Yeah.
Incredible.
So I got to go for all of these events, right? The Porsche races and stuff. I'll take you next time when I'm going.
100%.
It's amazing. It's just brilliant to see all kinds of cars there. And the pig, if you know that one, and a lot of other cars.
Actually, so I went to Stuttgart to the Porsche Museum.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've ever been, but
no, I've not been.
So they show you like the history of Porsche. And every single thing of like the beginning, and the levels are like, like
unbelievable, no?
And you know what, like, a lot of people like will say like, like Italian cars, Ferrari, this, that. But I think like if you're into cars, you would go for Porsche. I feel like everyone that knows about cars, that like the sensation of a car.
And in Porsche, there are lots of other models, but I think the 911. Takes the cup.
100%. And they've just been so nice over the years. They've never had a bad 911, in my opinion, at least. So definitely my dream car, dream brand. But it's like I
was super proud when I bought it, and obviously my mom has always வீட்டை வாங்காம ஏன் கார்ல போய் waste பண்ணிருக்கேன் காசு. That was her first statement, but I was like, Ma, I don't have kids. I live once. I always wanted to drive a Porsche 911.
Yeah.
I can afford to buy one now, so I bought one, and, I'm enjoying it. It's amazing to drive this car. It is a big magnet as well, but not into anything right now. Cut that, by the way.
But I'm really proud. I'm really proud that you're driving your dream car. That's great,
you.
man. That's great.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is it, guys. So make sure you check out, obviously, 30th November.
Yes.
You got your show. We got
the link is right here.
Yeah, we'll put the link below in the description as well, so you can go. So it's through Eventbrite, right?
Yeah, Eventbrite.
Yeah.
So just search for Fresh Off the Boat Comedy.
Yeah.
On Eventbrite, you should be able to get the link.
Yeah.
So there are a few more early bird tickets available. But we will, if we've sold almost all the early bird tickets now. And it's a limited seating. There's only like 100 seating that we are allowed in the venue. So get your tickets quicker, and I'm looking forward to it.
100%, man. So I'm looking forward to a good show as well then.
Thank you.
So I'll see you guys, whoever's coming 30th of November there.
Yeah.
And then thank you again for coming.
Thank
Make
you,
sure you
Julian.
subscribe,
Amazing.
like. Yeah, that was good.